What is true happiness? What are the real blessings in life? It's a question people have been asking for, well, forever. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty ancient answer, a timeless roadmap to a meaningful life that comes straight from a text called the Mangala Sutta. So, get this. This exact question was put to the Buddha about 2,500 years ago, and it wasn't just some abstract philosophical thing. It was this heartfelt plea from a deity who was basically speaking for everyone, gods and humans alike, who were all just trying to figure out, what really leads to well-being and a good life.
And the Buddha's answer? It wasn't some kind of mysterious hidden secret. Nope. Instead, he just laid out this super clear step-by-step guide. It's a really practical series of blessings that literally anyone, anywhere, could work on to build a life of, unshakable happiness.
Okay, so the Buddha's answer isn't just one big abstract idea. It's more like a path that unfolds in stages. And what's really interesting is where it starts. It doesn't begin with, deep meditation or looking inward. It starts with something way more grounded, our external world and the foundation we build in our everyday lives. Right. So this first step on the path is all about setting up the right conditions for success. It's about building a solid foundation in your day-to-day life. And where does that begin? It begins with the people you surround yourself with. So the crucial point here is pretty simple. Your environment really, really matters. The very first blessing is to avoid the foolish. And that doesn't just mean people who aren't smart, but people who are, unskillful or harmful in their thoughts, words, and actions. Instead, the idea is to seek out the wise and honor those who are worthy of it. This is the bedrock, the starting point for everything else. And it's not just about the people you hang out with. It's also about the place. The Buddha says that living in a suitable locality is a huge blessing. And no, this isn't about real estate prices. It's about being in a community where moral principles are actually lived out, where people are supportive and are trying to do good. All right, so once that external foundation is nice and secure, the path naturally turns inward. The focus shifts from your environment to your own potential. Now it's about cultivating the skills and the character you need to really thrive. And these are the blessings of personal growth. Things like, acquiring knowledge, becoming skilled in some kind of harmless craft, training yourself in discipline, and learning how to speak in a way that's truthful, friendly, and genuinely helpful. Think of each one as a tool for building a better life. And when we talk about discipline, it's not some vague, abstract idea. The teachings make it super practical. So for a regular person, a householder, it means consciously avoiding 10 specific unskillful actions in your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. We're talking about things like avoiding harsh speech or greedy thoughts. For a monk, the code is way more detailed, of course. But the key takeaway is that discipline is a concrete set of ethical guidelines that are tailored to your own life. Okay, so from personal development, the path naturally expands outward again. Now we're looking at our responsibilities to other people. How do we act in the world? How do we act within our own families? This really gets to this social dimension of a blessed life, doesn't it? It's about the simple but really powerful acts that create harmony. Caring for your parents, cherishing your spouse and kids, doing work that doesn't cause harm, and being generous. These are the kinds of actions that weave together a strong, supportive community. And all of this is part of what's called righteous conduct. It's basically a complete ethical framework that covers everything we do. It's about purifying our actions, whether it's our physical actions like avoiding violence, our speech by not lying or slandering, and even our mind by working to free it from greed and ill will. So once we've set up this ethical framework for how we act in the world, the path leads to its final and, honestly, its most profound stage. It's not just about what we do anymore. It's about who we are. This is all about mastering the inner world of the mind itself. So the journey into our inner world really begins with respect. And we're not just talking about politeness here. It's a fundamental attitude of reverence for our parents, our teachers, our elders, really for all those who guide and support us. And flowing naturally from that respect is humility. This is the wisdom to let go of arrogance, right? It's about seeing ourselves clearly. And that's what opens the door to any genuine learning and growth. Next up is one of the most powerful blessings. Contentment. This is the ability to find joy in what you already have. It frees you from that constant, exhausting chase for more and more. And right alongside contentment is its close cousin, Gratitude. This is the active practice of appreciating the good that is already in your life. These two together, contentment and gratitude, can totally transform your inner landscape.
And this is the ultimate goal. To have a mind that remains unshaken by life's inevitable ups and downs, gain and loss, praise and blame, pleasure and pain. A mind that is truly free from sorrow and fear, just secure in its own peace. Can you imagine?
So, as we bring this ancient guide into focus, let's step back for a second. What's the big picture here?
In total, the Buddha laid out 38 of these interconnected blessings. Now, obviously, we've only touched on a few of them today, but they all follow the same kind of logic. This isn't just some random checklist. It's a progressive path where each blessing builds on the last one. It leads you from a stable outer life all the way to a truly invincible inner peace. And when you cultivate them together, well, that's when you establish a really profound and lasting happiness.
And that's what brings this ancient wisdom right into our present moment. When you look at this whole roadmap, from something as simple as choosing your friends to practicing gratitude, the real question isn't just what's the greatest blessing. The question is, which one can you start with today, right now?